Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with Darksiders Genesis. This is a great game with great humor and very positive reviews on Steam. It is well balanced to play in co-op mode, but also fun in single player as well without any regrets. You, like me, probably have no friends anyway, although I must warn you that here you'll do more shooting than bashing and slashing, but you will get a fair share of the latter as well. Gamers on Steam are praising the aesthetics, interesting story and fun gameplay, but are grumpy about controls and few almost unsolvable puzzles. Game has great graphics, a bit childish dialogues, terrible camera angles, and no potato salad man class, which is a shame. Anyway, from me it gets 8 cold beers out of 10. And also check out this amazing new Humble Games bundle. 7 Steam games, and among them such hits like Metal Helsing, Scars Above, Plague Tale Innocence and more. You can buy 4 games for €9 or all 7 of them for about €14. This is one of the better bundles in a while, so don't hesitate, and you will find my affiliate link to this collection in the description and in the first pinned comment below. Asterigos, Curse of the Stars. In this high fantasy world you will discover the long-forgotten secrets, interesting battle encounters, interconnected maps full of places to explore, and an immersive story where every choice matters. The game is really fun if you like light Souls-like battles and can enjoy a bit of cartoony graphics, but not everything is nice. Game has no map, like at all, so you will have to remember all the places in your head. That of course creates another level of immersiveness because you will have to use your actual navigational senses you usually never use in games. But do we actually want that? I don't think so. Anyway, if you decide to obtain it, the game will take about 30 hours from your boring life. Tower of Time. This is a story-rich dungeon crawler with innovative real-time combat that lets you pause or slow time, and here you have to turn on your brain if you want to succeed. And I mean it, every battle is specially designed to be a tactical puzzle, so it might be a bit challenging, or impossible, depends on your IQ I guess. Well, you can always adjust the difficulty, but that is an instant insult to your brain power, isn't it? Also because of that, the game is really suitable for fans of the genre and not so friendly for new players. Tower of Time will burn about 50 hours of your boring lifetime as you enjoy handcrafted levels and interesting story. Here you'll also find thousands of pieces of loot and equipment. Wasteland 3 Colorado Collection. I will say bluntly, if you like tactical turn-based games, this RPG here is a must-play. It's not a recommendation or something, but the law. You must play it if you want to go, you know, to game hell after your death. Anyway, this version of the game includes both the Battle of Steeltown and Cult of the Holy Detonation expansions, as well as the Colorado Survival Gear bonus items. And the game itself is a wonderful gem for all Fallout, Baldur's Gate and all turn-based combat fans. In Wasteland 3 you will travel to the frozen wastes of Colorado to deal with gangs, cults and psychopathic clowns in effort to bring stability to the wastes. Or, you know, as always, even more chaos and even more psychopathic clowns. Yeah, not like in real life, your decisions really matter and the world will change according to your actions and reactions. Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. The game was released in 2012, but 10 years later it was remastered and sold, you know the drill, as a new game with a price of a new game. Everyone was raging, but now it's not a problem anymore. On various sales you can get it with 60 or 70% discount. The game itself is designed by the Elder Scrolls Oblivion lead designer Ken Ralston and set in a world with a lore of 10,000 years of fiction created by New York Times bestselling author R.A. Salvatore, or however his name is pronounced. I don't know him, but he's obviously very good. So this is a huge open world game, although be warned that some players sometimes encounter game-breaking bugs. I literally read that in a comment that was written a few months ago. It's not old news or something, keeping the age of the game in mind. Anyway, the game itself is really good, so you may want to risk it. Far Cry Primal. Welcome to the Stone Age, a time for extreme danger and limitless adventure, when giant mammoths and saber-toothed tigers ruled the earth and humanity was at the bottom of the food chain. Well, not the very bottom, raccoons were still below us, but a fat, juicy human would also be more preferred meal for a saber-toothed tiger, so I don't know if this lower position of raccoons really help us here. As the last survivor of your hunting group, you will learn to craft a deadly arsenal of, you know, sticks and stones to fend off fierce beasts and outsmart enemy tribes to conquer the land and become the apex predator. That won't be easy, except if you play on easy, then it will be easy. Remnant: From the Ashes. This is a third-person RPG shooter. Here the world has been thrown into a chaos by an ancient evil from another dimension. As gamers on Steam pointed out, they just ripped off a plot from Neverending Story. That's a shame, but in general this is a great game. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be RPG Dark Souls with guns. Yes, that is a one word if you throw out the spaces between them, and I did so, sue me. So here as one of the last remnants of humanity, you must set out alone or alongside up to 2 other survivors, and then face down hordes of deadly enemies, rebuild and retake what was lost. The strongest side of the game is the various guns and weapons. They're really good looking and fun to use. You know how in some other games you get a nice looking gun, but there is no real satisfaction to shoot it? Well, that's not the case in Remnant. Also, people are praising the great co-op mode, so you can play the game with your mother-in-law and do some nice bonding together. Warhammer 40k Inquisitor-Martyr. He'll become a mighty Inquisitor and carry out the Emperor's will. Choose one of the multiple classes and take part in brutal combat encounters. Embark on a huge variety of missions with your fellow agents and fight through a single-player story campaign. It is set in a haunted fortress monastery which hides a terrible secret from the past of the Inquisition. Yeah, they probably have put pineapple into potato salad. In general, this is a very nice game, but keep in mind that it is best played with a gamepad, because playing with keyboard and mouse is really not as comfortable. Although some people could argue about that, because there are many gamers in both gamepad and keyboard camps. Although let's be fair, gamepad camp is way bigger, and the gameplay, the main thing of every game, is highly addictive. It will burn tens or even hundreds of your hours even quicker than alcohol does. People on Steam are saying that this game is a no-brainer for those who like Diablo. It's basically the same, just in Warhammer universe. Gamedec Definitive Edition. This is a single-player, non-combat cyberpunk RPG. You are a game detective who solves crimes inside virtual worlds by using your wits to gather information from your witnesses and suspects. Also get to the bottom of deceptive schemes, save lives and investigate the relationships between virtual worlds and their inhabitants. The game continually adapts to your choices and never judges, just like your dog does. Also, it sounds a bit like Disco Elysium, and that's a great thing. Although keep in mind that here you will not find any battles and no fighting is available. Pick it up only if you like to read and carefully analyze sentences in dialogues. Bastion. This is an action role-playing experience with a reactive narrator who marks your every move. Here you can explore more than 40 hand-painted environments, find more than 10 upgradable weapons, enjoy gamepad support and discover the secrets of the Calamity, a surreal catastrophe that shattered the world to pieces. Bad thing is that the game doesn't have a huge replay value, even if it has a New Game Plus setting. But for this price, it is one of the best deals you can get. People on Steam are saying that even though this game is quite old, you really can't tell its age. It's not outdated in any way. Great game, without a doubt. Arcanum of Steamworks and Magick Obscura. There is a big chance that you have missed this game 22 years ago. Well, I absolutely did. I have no idea why it wasn't popular in Lithuania back then, when every kid was playing Baldur's Gate 8 times in a row. So Arcanum of Steamworks and Magick Obscura is a straight highway to Nostalgia Town. Good thing is that the game was made in the time when everyone wasn't woke, and some themes in the game are being thoroughly avoided by most of the games nowadays. Also, the game is not dumbed down. You know, I just recently played Diablo 4, it is a really fun game, but made in a way that an absolute idiot could play it. You don't even need to arrange stats anymore, everything is done for you. You just click, 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 and you win. That is amazing, but, you know, it's not the same as before. And that is not the case in all good games. Here you'll find 16 primary skills, including gambling and healing, 80 spells with 16 colleges of magic, and 56 technological degrees with 8 disciplines. The game is huge and replayability is really high as well. Like really, I'm not kidding, here you'll find more than 300 unique characters and monster types. People on Steam are saying that if they could sell their soul to the devil for the remastered version, it will be a great bargain. Sadly, most of them are probably redheads, so the devil is not interested. Well, anyway, let's hope to see a remastered version someday in the future.
Vampyr.
Guess, who are you going to be in this game? A doctor, and I am not even joking. Of course, you will be a vampire here as well. These are difficult times, no one can survive having only one profession. You are not that evil here, but you can choose to kill or rather devour good people and get stronger in the process. You will have to fight against vampire hunters, undead and other supernatural creatures with your own supernatural abilities. People on Steam really enjoy this game's atmosphere, music and voice acting as well. The only thing the game lacks is the freedom. Well, they provide you with many choices, but when you think about it, they don't really matter that much.
Shadows Awakening.
You can walk between worlds, and in every realm new unique challenges will await. In the Shadow Realm you will slay various spirits and demons, and in the real world, well, you know, as usual, spiders, snakes and maybe even evil koalas. All the stuff from the National Geographic Channel. This concept is really cool. I had a lot of fun playing this game. People on Steam are saying that Shadows Awakening is quite okayish if you compare it with the best Diablo-like action RPG games. Not a masterpiece by any means, but a nice game if you are tired from Grim Dawn or Path of Exile and you just want to spend a few hours in a different world slaying various different animals. Iratus, Lord of the Dead. This is a turn-based tactical roguelite RPG set in a dark fantasy universe. You'll have to lead an army of undead to reach the surface world and bring death to the mortal realms. You know, they lack death on the surface, so you are ready to supply the demand. So you will control an obedient army of the living dead. You know, all the classic monsters. Skeletons, zombies, banshees... other unliving warriors, I swear, I know more. And you will create your soldiers the only way a necromancer knows how, from the body parts of your slain enemies. Iratus definitely has a high replayability due to different minion composition in your team. Also, there are multiple different pathways to take when it comes to finishing the game. The main story will take up to 12 hours of your boring life. The Dungeon of Naheulbeuk, the Amulet of Chaos. This is a humoristic approach to the serious CRPG genre. The story and whole game is based on a classic humoristic French radio show, so it's filled with French humor. You know, everything is about the baguettes and Eiffel Tower. Also, if you are British, for you this game on Steam costs a few times more than for everyone else, and by buying it you must accept the terms that you agree that France is a way more developed country than United Kingdom is. Then you get a 10% discount. Well, that is of course not true, that was some Lithuanian humor for you, but I guess they could really implement that as a joke as well. Anyway, here you'll find exciting battles with creative support mechanics between team members and an adaptive difficulty system, from an accessible and fun story mode with simplified combat to the nightmare mode, where the smallest tactical errors will doom you. Here you'll also encounter more than 100 enemies and epic boss battles. And you know, not every game must have a serious story, sometimes we all need to relax, and this game might be just it. Expeditions Rome. This is an indirect sequel of Expeditions Viking, and it has already accumulated a very positive review score on Steam. So here you can create your own Roman legacy, customize your character's look, gender, class and skills to match your playstyle and role-playing fantasy. Although I doubt that you will find a slider for a ding-dong size, like we have in Cyberpunk. That would be a pleasant surprise. So here's in the prequel, you will engage in tactical turn-based combat powered by an extensive skill-based action system, where every weapon changes your potency on the battlefield. This is a great game for the people who like to use the tiny organ between our ears. People on Steam are saying that this is an interesting, a bit underrated RPG game that takes a huge amount of time to beat, but gameplay almost never gets boring. Dragon Age Inquisition. While we wait for the next part of Dragon Age to be released, let's take a look what the last game in the series had to offer. Let's start with the fact that it wasn't completely oriented to the fans of the Dragon Age franchise and tried to be appealing to a wider audience. That they definitely achieved. Me and my wife, we played the game and we liked it. It was our first experience in the world of Dragon Age and we had tons of fun. My wife even completed it twice. The game was designed to be played using a pause function, but I can't remember ever doing that. I played it in real time all the time and I had fun. Maybe on some boss I pre-planned some moves, but that was about it. It is definitely not a game for a hardcore Dungeons & Dragons fan, more like a nice fantasy title for the masses. It is beautiful, has a nice story and you can own a castle. In my opinion, 8 cold beers out of 10. Just be careful, with it you must install EA Launcher. That is never cool. Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Here you'll discover the shattered world of Solasta, explore ruins and dungeons for legendary treasures, learn the truth of an age-old cataclysm and stop it from happening again. You will be able to create your own party of adventurers in the classic tabletop RPG tradition. The choices you will make while choosing various skills, traits and backstories of your heroes will reflect in their dialogue. You know, if some of them are born in Potato Saladistan, they will always be enemies with the guys who put pineapple in their potato salad. And with these characters you will dive into long-forgotten dungeons to unearth ancient artifacts, but stay watchful of light and darkness. Many dangers hide in the dark, but a light can attract monsters as well. Some enemies have dark vision, some may flee from your torch, but, you know, as I always say, the best way to light your way is with fireballs. It doesn't really matter if your enemies have dark vision or not, a fried monster is always better than a raw monster, so the game is pure treasure for CRPG fans, and also it includes Dungeon Manager, so you can make your own stories and maps, or play some good ones created by way more talented people than you. Conan Exiles. This is an online multiplayer survival game with mounts and mounted combat set in the lands of Conan the Barbarian. Here you'll enter an open world sandbox and play together with friends or, you know, with creepy strangers as you build your own home and even a shared city. You will have to survive freezing cold, explore loot-filled dungeons and develop your character from lowly peasant to a mighty barbarian. Also fight to dominate your enemies in epic siege wars. People on Steam are talking that the game is a bit buggy and that can be annoying, but it also has boobs in it, so for this you can forgive almost anything. Gloomhaven. At first this was made as a tabletop game, and as it reached incredible popularity it was remade into a video game as well. It has all the features of dungeon crawlers like Darkest Dungeon, but stands out of the rest with a cool twist of 3D setting. So here you will lead your band of mercenaries through this unforgiving place where every move is crucial. Yeah, you sneeze, you die. No, probably not, but you get the point. You will have to carve your way through dungeons, forests and dark caves filled with horrific monsters to reap your rewards, or die trying, possibly the latter, over and over again. People are talking that this game will surprise you with the amount of unique monsters, high replay value and 100 hours of content, but it can scare you away with its very steep learning curve, so don't expect anything easy, it's not your sister. Darksiders 3. This is a hack-and-slash action-adventure where you will assume the role of Fury in the quest to hunt down and dispose of the 7 deadly sins. You must succeed where many have failed and kick some adversary ass. Here you are an angry lady with a whip, so this task for you will be a piece of cake. Well, actually no, the game is quite difficult but immensely fun. Here you will explore an open-ended living game world, in which you will move back and forth between environments to uncover secrets while advancing the story. People on Steam are saying that the gameplay mechanics, artistic style and story is great and engaging, but there is no map and fights can feel unfair and lack variety. Also keep in mind that the game is Souls-like, so prepare to die a bit more often than you would like to. Borderlands 3. Here you'll blast through weird worlds and enemies as one of 4 world hunters, the ultimate treasure-seeking badasses of the Borderlands, each with deep skill trees, abilities and customization. So in this looter-shooter RPG you will play solo or join the battle with friends to take on an epic enemies, score loads of loot and save your home from the most ruthless cult leaders in the galaxy. With bazillions of guns and gadgets, every fight is an opportunity to score new gear, and that gear is more than crazy. Firearms with self-propelling bullet shields? Check. Rifles that spawn fire-spewing volcanoes? Obviously. Guns that grow legs and chase down enemies while cursing? Yeah, got that too. On Steam, Borderlands 3 is an owner of very positive reviews, so it's a no-brainer if you like shoot and loot. Just grab the game and be happy. Make your enemies unhappy by making them die. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate PCR. This is a legendary game, and this deal is the best version of it possible. Pack contains DLCs like Dead Money, Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, Lonesome Road, and so on. So basically, if you play the game when it initially came out or never tried it, this version is the best way to experience Fallout New Vegas. Keep in mind that this is one of the best Fallout games ever created. You know, including classic games and new ones, Fallout New Vegas outshines them all. Everyone who played New Vegas is talking quite unanimously about its greatness. The game was created by Obsidian, the same guys who made Fallout clone The Outer Worlds, and now are probably making the Elder Scrolls clone named Avowed. So serious clone people made this serious game, and this price is kinda friendly. Not like all the inhabitants of the desert you will encounter in-game. Monster Hunter Rise. This is originally a Nintendo Switch game released back in 2021. Now we have this action-soaked game on Steam as well, and this version is obviously upgraded to meet our expectations. Here you will rise to the challenge and become a hunter, explore brand new maps and use a variety of weapons to take down fearsome monsters. That's what developers say, but I would change the word fearsome to airy-fairy, because those monsters are anything but fearsome. Although they are beautiful, I can't deny that. Each monster you hunt will provide materials that that allow you to create new weapons and ammo. You can also upgrade your existing gear so you can go back on the field and hunt even more airier and fairer monsters and earn even better rewards. Of course, all of that is presented in 4K resolution with ultra-wide monitor support and unlocked frame rate. Even with a discount, the game is a bit expensive, but you can try the free demo version on Steam. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Here you'll put on the shoes of a legendary Viking warrior on a quest of glory. Explore England's dark ages as you raid your enemies, grow your settlement and build your political power. Yeah, this is one of the most innovative Assassin's Creed games, and the Nordic theme of Vikings is what fans of the franchise always wanted, although it is far from the top predators of the genre, such as Title or Third Witcher or even Skyrim by the quality of story and characters. Also, no boobs for you here. Viking game without boobs. What is this blasphemy? Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. This game reminds me of Witcher, but for a younger or, less brutal audience, because it has somewhat similar battle mechanics, open world full of monsters, many dialogues, third-person view and so on. But here you will not find any gore, twisted creepy quests, splattering blood fountains or any nudity. Redhead will never show what she's hiding. Here you will get no love affairs, no hot scenes by the waterfall, just robot dinosaurs and indigenous people. I played about 30 hours of this game a few years ago on my PlayStation. I had a great time, but I never finished it because I encountered a difficulty spike and I couldn't play anymore without loading a save game that was an hour ago. And I had no intention to do that. So be careful of the places named the Cauldron. Make sure your character level is appropriate before entering inside. Assassin's Creed Origins. Ancient Egypt, a land of majesty and intrigue, is disappearing in a ruthless fight for power. Here you will unveil dark secrets and forgotten myths as you go back to one founding moment, the origins of Assassin's Brotherhood. People are talking that this is one of the best Assassin's Creed games they have ever played. It has a great combat system, almost no bugs, and only bad comments are from grumpy old dudes who can't cope with the fact that this is now a role-playing game. Although I must admit that if you are not a fan of an ancient Egypt, this setting can seem a bit boring. Some settings are really overused and not interesting anymore. Like Egyptian, ancient Greek, Viking or Latvian mythology. Especially the Latvian one with all that Lachplisis and Zirga Galva everywhere you go. Remnant 2. This is the sequel to Remnant from the Ashes, best known as Dark Souls with guns. The game pits survivors of humanity against new deadly creatures and godlike bosses across beautiful but menacing worlds. Here you can travel alone or with friends as a team and explore strange new worlds and beyond, overrun by mythical creatures while trying to stay alive. There are multiple worlds to explore with different types of creatures, weapons and items. Game has branching quest lines, augments, crafting and loot rewards that will test the resolve of even the most hardened players in dynamically generated dungeons and areas. Most of the players are saying that the second part is better than the first one, meaning that developers learned from their past mistakes and made an actually awesome game. Book of Demons. It is a surprisingly good game, ignored by many just because of how it looks. It has great lighting effects, but those paper figures are definitely not for everyone. Anyway, here you can decide the length of the quests, wield magic arts instead of weapons and slay armies of darkness in the dungeon below the old cathedral. Yeah, I bet you heard that somewhere. People on Steam are talking that Book of Demons has great replayability with a variety of combinations, interesting art direction, and fast, non-boring gameplay. Although some are saying that the game can become a bit monotonous, but I'm pretty sure that it can happen because of the skills and spells you use. If your build is not fun enough, you will get not enough fun. Simple, right? So Google some nice builds before you play. Let there be a bit of Book of Demons among big boobed MILFs in your search history. Anyway, the game has 91% of positive reviews and it's kinda cheap. Spellforce free Reforced. If you are searching for something like the third Warcraft, search no more. This is a fun mix of RPG and RTS, meaning that most of the time you will control heroes that can gain experience, new skills and all that. Really similar to Warcraft's additional huge maps where you control Rexxar, and the other half of the game is traditional base building, unit training and upgrading so you could swarm the enemy with your eternal wrath. Campaigns are really well written, so reading and listening for conversations will be the thing you'll do a lot. And I mean it, about a third of the game consists of dialogues. So if you just want quick matches where you can show your insane APM of 20, it's not the case. But if you want story-rich RTS RPG game, this is definitely for you. The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing Final Cut. This is definitely one of the most known action RPGs out there. This version of the game is a collection of 3 standalone episodes told as one continuous story, with 6 playable classes and a new endgame mode with a huge variety of open missions. People on Steam are saying that this is a very addictive game. Not as addictive as potato salad, but there is a huge chance that you will have a lot of great time, although it has some minor problems, lame targeting system and a bit shallow character builds. Also, you may encounter some bugs and glitches along the way as well. But anyway, this game is really entertaining and also huge. The campaign is offering over 50 hours of gameplay. Also, if you are in doubt, you can download a free demo version at first and try it out. Call of Cthulhu. The year is 1924, and here you will take on the role of a private detective. But instead of catching cheating husbands and wives, you must do a bit more serious job. So you are sent to investigate the death of a well-known family on a remote island. What could go wrong? Yeah, you will probably meet some strange creatures, experience weird science, and even come face to face with a creepy cult. I mean, what else is there to do when you spend your time on an isolated island? Knit socks? Repaint the fences? Make potato salad? Although I doubt that you could find the best quality doctor's sausage here.
I am so bored. Yeah, me too. Let's join a cult.
But if you think about it, honestly, if the people of the island would do some sock knitting and repainting the fences for fun, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't need to join a sinister cult for fun. Some food for thought. Anyways, people are saying that the story of the game is very interesting, engaging, and spooky. But Call of Cthulhu doesn't let you explore much. It is more focused on nice cutscenes, and it does feel more like an adventure game. Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you take Skyrim and strip it of dragons, trolls, elves and magic, you might get a very boring game. Not as boring as your sister, but really, you may think that it would probably suck. But these Czech developers who created Kingdom Come Deliverance managed to make a realistic medieval Skyrim-like game that is not only not boring, but is one of the most famous open-world games nowadays. It has a great story, interesting missions and a really beautiful world set in an ancient part of nowadays Czech Republic. So grab your wooden sword and show everyone how to fight. Well, I'll be honest, this game is terribly hard at the beginning. A simple drunken peasant will destroy your dignity at ease. The learning curve is not friendly at all, but you will learn, everyone learns. You are not worse than everyone, right? Although in general, the harsh reality of a level 1 villager that decided to become a warrior is not very pleasant, like in any game. And combat here is very realistic. I'm not kidding, some duels against stronger foes can span 15 minutes or even more. Here you will really feel like a lone warrior fighting for your life. Immersion definitely over 9,000. Also, don't forget about this great Humble Bundle collection. You will find my affiliate link in the description and in the first pinned comment below. Keep in mind that with every purchase you can adjust the amount I get and support my channel even more. This will not change the price for you in any way. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.